bros for life. Once upon a time, in a small, quiet town surrounded by hills and forests, two children named Max and Jonah became the best of friends. They lived just a few houses apart and spent their early years exploring the woods, building forts, and chasing fireflies in the summer. They shared every secret, every dream, and every laugh as they grew up together. Max was the more adventurous one, always eager to climb the highest trees or swim in the deepest parts of the river. Jonah, quieter and more thoughtful, often found joy in reading and writing, but he always followed Max into whatever new adventure awaited them. They were inseparable, and everyone in town knew that where Max went, Jonah wouldn't be far behind. As they got older, their paths began to diverge. Max became increasingly fascinated with the world beyond their small town. After high school, he left to travel, seeking new experiences, while Jonah stayed behind, content with the familiar rhythm of life. He took over his family's bookstore and spent his days lost in the stories of others, dreaming in a different way. Despite the growing distance, there was no resentment between them. Whenever Max returned to town, he and Jonah would meet at their favorite diner, where they used to spend hours as teenagers. They'd sit at the same booth by the window, reminiscing about their childhood adventures. Though their conversations changed, the bond between them remained. Max would tell Jonah about the places he had been, the people he had met, and the dreams he still chased. Jonah would listen intently, sharing updates about the town, the bookstore, and his quiet life. There was no envy or regret, just a mutual respect for the paths they had chosen. As the years passed, their meetings became less frequent. Max's visits to town grew shorter, and Jonah became more absorbed in his life and work. Still, whenever they saw each other, their smiles were warm, and their conversations were easy. They didn't need to catch up on every detail of each other's lives. There was a shared understanding that life had taken them in different directions. But the roots of their friendship were still there, deep and unshaken. One winter evening, after years of sporadic meetings, they found themselves once again at the diner. The town was blanketed in snow, and inside, the familiar booth by the window felt like a time capsule. As they talked, they both realized that while their friendship had evolved, it was still strong in its own way. Max raised his coffee mug, smiling softly. "To all the adventures we've had, and all the ones you've still got in those books of yours." Jonah chuckled, raising his mug in return. "And to wherever life takes you next, I'll always be cheering you on." They clinked their mugs together, a quiet toast to the past, the present, and the unspoken understanding that true friendship doesn't need constant presence. It just needs the occasional reminder that it's still there, tucked away in the heart, waiting for when it's needed. And so, Max and Jonah parted ways once again, with no bitterness, only the warmth of knowing they still wished each other well, no matter where life led them. Subscribe for daily uplifting stories, and let's fill each day with positivity and warmth.